Hey Maizy, how are you?
Hi, I'm Maizy Kluskdal. I play soccer for Boise High School. I'm a junior.
I think we're about 6 months since your injury.
I was at a high school soccer game and I went in for a 50-50 tackle with a girl, which is just kind of like a shoulder to shoulder going in for the ball. And I rolled my ankle inwards, which is opposite of what most people do. And it broke and tore some ligaments.
Push that way hard as you can. Does that hurt? So this is a model of an ankle, and Maizy broke the small bone called the fibula, and it was in multiple pieces. There are two tendons that we all have in back called the peroneal tendons, represented by this red cord, and the fracture kind of poked out in the area of the tendons.
Immediately my coach came over to me and they carried me off the field, and then we went to the hospital right away and took x-rays, and they confirmed that it was broken.
If she had to go through surgery, most surgeons put a metal plate and screws in that area. And often the fracture could heal that way too, but there's risks to undergoing through surgery and undergoing the knife. So the risks are that people could bleed, they could get an infection, sometimes the bone doesn't heal. We got an x-ray on Maizy and it turned out she actually broke her ankle, and it was a comminuted fracture. So you could see that her fibula right in this area is in multiple pieces. Here's a fracture coming this way.
Breaking my ankle hurt really bad, but honestly, like in the moment, I was kind of just focused on my future and like that would mean for it. So I didn't really want to think that it was broken right away, but I kind of like felt that it was broken.
And I felt that this is an injury that could heal with no surgery at all. And so we ended up going down the route of conservative treatment. I put her into a removable cam boot. It's like a cast that you could take off and put it back on. And I had her in that for about 6 weeks.
When I heard that she didn't have to have surgery, it was kind of a weight lifted off our shoulders a little bit, knowing that this recovery wasn't going to be as long as we initially thought it was going to be, and that we can kind of get her back to her normal and get her back to the goals that she wanted to get to a little bit faster. You're going to hold the bands there, load and jump.
We did a lot of calf raises to make sure that my ankle was strong, and a lot of balance exercises.
She was always really motivated to come in and keep working, even when she was in a boot, when she was non-weight bearing, all of that. She was still coming in 3-4 days a week when she was on crutches, doing whatever she can, whether it's upper body, strengthening her other muscles, making sure her quads and hamstrings aren't lacking in strength or mobility.
The recovery time was cut in half basically, but I was also just kind of worried that I didn't know what would happen if I didn't get surgery, but I definitely trusted Hirose, and so just like knowing him as a person and knowing how good he is at his job made me really confident that I can trust him.
She injured her ankle in September and went back to full force playing soccer in January. So 3 to 4 months later, she was at full force, and yet we never had to do an operation.
Maizy's really motivated, and she knows what she wants to get. She's willing to work really hard for it. She comes in 5-6 days a week. Whether it's lifting, doing mobility, running, agility, going to the field to train with her other coach, getting extra working after practice, traveling around to different tournaments.
I just want to say that we see a lot of people who come to me who don't necessarily need an operation and who could heal properly with conservative care without going to surgery. And Maizy's case was just that case. She did just fine with no surgery. She didn't need surgery. We know that because right now she's back to full force and has zero pain and no complaints. She hopes to play professional soccer, and at the same time she's a straight A student, and so she has a lot of potential. I'm very excited to see what the future has for her, because I think we're going to be hearing Maizy Kluskdal in the news again.